sitting down and actually learning something and actually absorbing it into their mind to use later on. So a skill to actually develop is to sit down and learn something the first time through a little quicker. So when I sit down, I know that in my mind, I'm going to learn this. I already accept the fact that this will be absorbed into my mind and I will be able to use this later on at another date for anything that's needed. You may not use it in the next couple days, you may not use it in the next couple months, but in your mind, it's stored. So sometimes doing physical depictions in your mind, taking this memory or taking this lesson that you learned, locking it in a box and putting it in your mind in a certain section. Thinking physically about your mind kind of helps you kind of lock in things and kind of helps your mind. It's a manifestation kind of thing. What you think, what you believe can actually happen. So kind of go ahead and believe that you have this room filled with these memories of certain lessons that you've learned. So that way you can go back to this room anytime that you need to. It's one of the biggest skills, and I think a lot of people haven't really developed this one. Another skill I would say would be to take a second and not respond to things. A big skill to develop is actually not responding to something when something first happens. Like a situation where you get very angry or something, you should develop the skill not to respond, to take a minute and think about this in a business standpoint and a personal standpoint, but to keep the emotions out of it, but to kind of give your feedback on it. It's a big skill, especially going on to number 4, which is how important the mindset is. This is a big, huge thing. It's to be positive about stuff, always be positive. And not just that, but take a step back and give yourself time to respond to something. Cut your emotions out of stuff. Unless it's you trying to put yourself in your customer's shoes and figure out the emotions they're going through, I would highly suggest cutting your emotions out of things and making sure that you keep that positive, upbeat feeling about things. Always think that there's something better that's going to happen or something great is going to come out of this. Whether it's a lesson that you've learned or it's success, it doesn't matter. Something great is going to come out of this. So always go headstrong in with a positive attitude. Your mindset needs to be open and ready for feedback, for failure, for rejection, and for success. So worst case scenario kind of thinking, but also knowing that you could succeed at any second. But number 5 is what tools are must-haves. So obviously, I would say the number 2 is your phone and a laptop, obviously. And then there are apps like you should have Facebook, Facebook Ad Manager. So that way you could check through your ads and track them and things like this. I would also suggest using Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn to market your business and get content out there to make sure that when someone Googles you, all of your profiles are pulling up. So you're taking up a lot more space on that first page because you have all these profiles pulling up. Anyways, number 6 is how to maintain focus. This is one of the hardest things for people, to sit down and be focused for hours. And I highly recommend not doing it. This may be contradictory to a lot of people's beliefs, and I am sorry about that. But what I do believe is that you shouldn't sit for hours on end doing the same thing over and over. You will fry your brain, and by the end of those couple hours, your work is useless. It's going to be horrible. It'll be the worst performance because you start to get sluggish. You start to get slow, and in your mind, you're burning out. You don't want to do this anymore. So what I highly recommend is to actually take 30 minutes to an hour, every 30 minutes or every hour, depending on how active you have to be, to get up, walk around, go say hi to people, go get a coffee, go get a banana, go get a treat for yourself or something, go walk around the office, get outside of your building. I wouldn't even recommend doing it inside your building. I would go outside the building, get fresh air, Do something that's away from your desk or away from, your home office, if that's where you're at. Walk outside, go take your pet for a walk, something like that. But do this every 30 minutes to an hour. You can even sit down and read a book if that's, getting your mind out of it for a minute. This way, when you come back to work and you come back to crank out whatever writing you're doing or whatever sales, you're doing right now, it's giving you a new perspective. Because now you've went and thought about something else. Now you can come back and look at it with a new mind's eye and come at it with a different perspective. So remember, guys, mindset is a great thing to develop on a daily basis. It's not just about developing yourself. It's about your mind that you need to develop to actually accept success and accept failure on the way to it. So have a great day, guys. List your questions below so that I can do a video just for you, and see you tomorrow.